net. W8VPV, repeater PL110.9.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2468 with a release date of Friday, February 14th, 2025, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. In the U.S., 2 radio-related proposals returned for consideration among lawmakers. NASA spots metallic vapors from disintegrating Starlink satellites, and the special event honoring the discovery of Pluto enters its 5th year. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2468 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Jonesboro, Arkansas, here's Skeeter Nash, N5ASH.
We begin this week with a developing story. As Newsline went to production, the amateur radio developer and manufacturer Rig Expert reported the destruction of its administrative office at its headquarters in Ukraine. The company said on its website and in social media posts that the offices were struck by a Russian ballistic missile. Rig Expert said that all its personnel were safe, production remained unaffected, and that its customer support operations will continue. The company issued a statement on Wednesday, February 12th, saying, quote, "Even though this is a difficult situation, the Rig Expert team is committed to restoring operations as soon as possible to continue providing our great products to you. We are working tirelessly to minimize delays and fulfill our commitments," end quote. Our next 2 stories take us to Washington, D.C., where proposed laws have been reintroduced for yet another year's consideration by the U.S. Congress. The first measure tackles the debate over whether AM radio should be required in vehicles sold in the U.S. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, has that story.
The U.S. Senate is getting ready to vote on a proposed law that would require consumers access to AM radio in all new vehicles sold around the country. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act, which is being challenged by a number of major automakers, has support from a number of lawmakers in both parties. The bill has a version that is also being considered in the House of Representatives. The act was introduced last year, but lawmakers failed to move forward on it in time before the end of the last congressional session in December. The bill's advocates have said they acknowledge the important role that AM radio plays in the nation's emergency alert system and in transmitting life-saving information during disasters. Proponents include the National Association of Broadcasters and the new FCC chairman, Brendan Carr. An article on the Radio World website noted that this measure is one of the few to have both political parties behind it, both among lawmakers and the FCC. The road has not been a smooth one, however. The Radio Inc. website reported that car makers have made a formidable investment worth $26.73 million in lobbying against the bill's passage. Disclosures in lobbying documents showed that Detroit-based General Motors was among the top 10 corporate spenders in the fourth quarter of 2024, allocating $4 million to their efforts to win lawmakers over. Other big spenders included Toyota, Honda, and Ford. Manufacturers of electric vehicles, such as Tesla and Rivian, have been in the vanguard of opposition, claiming that the high-voltage electrical systems in their vehicles are not compatible with AM radio and cause distortion and interference. Those car makers spent $190,000 and $40,000 respectively. This is Kent Peterson, KC0, DGY.
The U.S. Congress has also returned to considering a measure giving hams the right to install antennas that, until now, have been banned or restricted by homeowner associations. We have more on that from Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
A proposed law has been reintroduced in Washington, D.C. to restrict the power that the homeowners associations, or HOAs, have to prevent ham radio operators from installing antennas outside their residences. This is the latest version of the Amateur Radio Emergency Preparedness Act, which has been considered by U.S. lawmakers over the past several years without taking any action. The measure prohibits HOAs from writing rules that ban amateur radio antennas, which are recognized as part of an essential disaster communication system for public safety. The act also provides hams with the means of resolving disputes that arise in connection with their antennas. The sponsors are U.S. Senators Roger Wicker, a Mississippi Republican, and Richard Blumenthal, a Connecticut Democrat. Opponents of the measure in previous years have raised concerns that large antennas spoil the aesthetics of a community. Many of the measure's supporters have countered that ham radio antennas should be given the same consideration as satellite dishes and TV antennas, which many HOAs permit. This is Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
The oldest of the Starlink satellites are coming back to Earth, and NASA has detected metallic vapors in the atmosphere as they disintegrate. We have more details from Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
The disintegration of retired Starlink satellites has introduced vapors containing aluminum and other metals as they re-enter the atmosphere and burn up, NASA has found. These are among the so-called Generation 1 satellites that were launched starting in 2018. According to Jonathan McDowell, an astronomer at Harvard University's Center for Astrophysics, 4 or 5 of these satellites are incinerated daily. He told the Space Weather website that, quote, the sustained rate of daily re-entries is unprecedented, end quote. He said that the fireballs are not a surprise to the constellation's planners, who are removing the oldest satellites and replacing them with the next generation. All that debris is adding up and apparently having other effects. The Space Weather website said that just one of these satellites can produce about 30 kilograms or 66 pounds of aluminum oxide. This compound is known to erode the Earth's ozone layer. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Amateur radio and politics may not always mix, but almost everyone knows a few names of public officials who have led their nations. In Germany, one amateur radio operator has set his hopes high too. We hear more about him from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Although there are numerous amateur radio awards such as DXCC and Work Tool Europe, Frederick Merz, DK7DQ, is hoping for an achievement that could be thought of as a Work Tool Germany, even though in this case it's outside the realm of amateur radio. Frederick Merz is leader of Germany's CDU party and a possible frontrunner in this month's elections to replace Olaf Scholz. A win would make the political conservative the nation's new chancellor, and as such he would join the ranks of other licensed heads around the world, most notably the late King Hussein of Jordan, who held the call sign JY1, and the present King of Thailand, whose call sign is HS10A. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
In India, hams have intercepted questionable radio signals on the border with Bangladesh, as we hear from Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Amateur radio operators have told the Ministry of Communications in India that they've been hearing radio signals late at night in South Bengal near the Indo-Bangladesh border in an area of international unrest. The transmissions are reportedly in coded Arabic, Urdu and Bengali. They've been intercepted by hams since December of last year, according to news reports. The Ministry of Communications has forwarded the information to the International Monitoring Station in Kolkata, and hams have been advised to continue monitoring and reporting what they hear. Various news media in India said that the radio transmissions have spurred concern over possible activities by extremists amid escalating Bangladeshi hostilities towards India. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
If you have enjoyed the past 4 years of logging contacts with W7P, the Pluto Special Event Station, you now have your chance to work it again. The Northern Arizona DX Association is putting W7P back on the air from the 15th through the 23rd of February. This is year 5 of a 10-year-old special event marking the 100th anniversary of the discovery of Pluto in 1930 from the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona. One of the operators will be Doug Tombaugh, N3PDT, the nephew of astronomer Clyde Tombaugh, who discovered Pluto. Doug will be using the call sign W7P/0. See QRZ.com for QSL and certificate details. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the CQ0UAR repeater in Arestal Mountain, Portugal, on Saturdays and Sundays at noon local time. The International Space Station is helping with a rehearsal for an important SSTV event sometime this spring. John Williams, VK4JJW, explains.
TV fans have grown accustomed to previews, but most of the time that means they're watching scenes from popular shows or movies from the comfort of their couches. The International Space Station is giving hopeful viewers a different kind of preview via SSTV. To help educators and students prepare to copy transmissions from the FRAM-2 mission sometime this spring, the ISS is transmitting images on 437.550 MHz beginning February 13th through to the 17th. This is a departure from the ISS's customary 2-meter frequency, but it's designed as a practice session to get participants accustomed to the receiving equipment and Doppler effects that they'll encounter on 70 centimeters. The FRAM-2 mission aboard the SpaceX Dragon will be the first space flight to orbit the Earth over the North and South Poles. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
Alabama AM radio station WJLX, which reported the mysterious theft of its broadcast tower and destruction of its transmitter 1 year ago, has gone back on the air on its assigned frequency of 1240 AM. According to a story on the Radio World website, the station's signal was restored quickly before the 1-year expiration date of the Special Temporary Authority the FCC granted it after the incident was reported. The station has come under different management following the subsequent death of Brett Elmore, the general manager who had reported the theft and vandalism. The station has been back on the air on AM since the 1st of February, using a temporary setup transmitting 100 watts. A 195-foot tower is expected to be installed soon. The station also has a new 1-kilowatt transmitter. It can also be heard via an iHeart Media translator on FM and will soon be taking over FM operations at 90.1 megahertz. The case of the missing transmitter and 200-foot tower has not been solved. Meet a ham radio operator who loves astronomy so much that he's activating a very old meteor crater in India. We learn more from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
As an amateur astronomer and astrophotographer, Zeta VU2DSI enjoys catching meteors with the lenses of his telescopes or cameras. As an amateur radio operator, he also chases after them with his radio signal. Here on Earth, he often shares his love of the heavens with students by presenting sky-watching programs in schools and colleges around India. So when a meteorite falls to Earth, as it did millions of years ago, data is not likely to ignore what is left behind. He has travelled to Lunar Lake in Budhana district of India's Maharashtra state for his first-time encounter with what he calls an astronomical wonder. The crater that the massive impact left behind, with the meteor buried 600 metres below. Researchers from the Physical Research Laboratory of India, the Smithsonian Institution and the Geological Society of India have probed its mysteries. Now it's Data's turn to do some exploring. At the edge of that crater, he hopes to discover the wonder and the appeal it holds for amateurs around the world. Using the call sign AU6LON, Data is calling CQ from Lunar Meteor Lake, operating from what has since been declared a wildlife sanctuary. He will call CQ from the 20th through till the 24th of February. He will be joined by two other radio enthusiasts, Ajay VU3LPQ and Suhas, a shortwave listener. QSL information and other details about the activation can be found on the QRZ.com page of AU6LON. This is Jim Meachin, ZL2BHF.
If you've got your eye on the World Radio Sport Team Championship 2026 in the UK, you may want to read the competition rules, which have just been published by the Championships Committee. The rules have been adjusted slightly from the previous competition to ensure that this is a fair test of operator skills. Questions may be submitted to the committee via social media, on the WRTC Reflector, or at amateur radio conventions. Find a link to the rules in the text version of this week's newscast script at arnewsline.org. In the world of DX, a team of operators from the DARC are using the special event call sign DA0IARU to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the IARU. They are on the air through the 27th of April. See QRZ.com for QSL details. In France, Georges, F6IMD, is activating with a team using the call sign TM06CDN between the 15th of February and the 2nd of March to celebrate the Nice Carnival. Only downloadable EQSLs will be provided. Yuri, VE3DZ, is on the air until the 18th of February using the call sign FM/VE3DZ from Martinique, IOTA number NA107. Yuri will take part in the ARRL DXCW contest as TO4A. See QRZ.com for QSL details. The special call sign IR0APTT is on the air to mark the 50th anniversary of the ARI Porto Torres Radio Club IQ0AK in Sardinia. Listen on all bands through the 12th of May. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Herbert, DL5AXI, is operating holiday style as OZ/DL5AXI from Fano Island, IOTA number EU125, until the 20th of February. Herbert is using CW and SSB on 40 through 10 meters, QSL via his home call signs. Our final story takes us to Poland, where a devoted amateur is celebrating a half-century on being on the air by going on the air. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, introduces us to her.
Wanda, SP5IWA and SP7IWA, cannot imagine what her life would be like without amateur radio. Fortunately, since the age of 15, she hasn't had to. Curious about the magic and science behind it all, she enrolled in a course offered by the local radio club, SP5KMB, while she was still a secondary school student in Poland. By June of 1975, her first license in her hand, bearing one of the two call signs she still uses today, with a radio, a microphone and a telegraph key, Wanda was on her way. Before too long, she was DXing, operating in contests, and going off into the mountains of southern Poland for a radio adventure. So many years later, Wanda is embarking on another adventure, special event station SN50 IWA, marking the 50 years since she first went on the air as a ham. The years between have been marked by QSOs and making friends. She fell in love with CW, and ultimately she fell in love with the man who was to become her husband, another amateur radio operator. She's most active these days on CW, but to Wanda, the most important thing is just to be on the air, which is exactly what she'll be doing until the end of 2025, with a special event call sign on the HF bands. Though amateur radio has certainly changed in the decades since she first touched a telegraph key or picked up a microphone, Wanda still believes that the old-fashioned QSL card is relevant. To her, it has always been the final courtesy of a QSO, and it remains so 50 years later. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Have you sent in your amateur radio haiku to Newsline's Haiku Challenge yet? It's as easy as writing a QSL card. Set your thoughts down using traditional haiku format, a 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org. Each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to the Assam Tribune, Amateur Radio Daily, Data VU2DSI, David Behar K7DB, Millennium Post, QRZ.com, RadioWorld.com, Senator Roger Wicker, shortwaveradio.de, spaceweather.com, Wanda, SP5IWA/SP7IWA, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Marie, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Skeeter Nash, N5ASH in Jonesboro, Arkansas, saying 7-3. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is Thomas, and my call sign is KE8OWX. However, for the purpose of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open and directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and at times of social isolation, to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We'll quickly go through announcements that ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only. We're looking for 5 at a time, giving me a chance to confirm each call before moving on to the next. We'll work through those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we've completed. If you are a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call, repeat it phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, we'll close the net after repeating any announcements. We also operate an HF plus 6 meter band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, and tonight we'll be on 40 meters at approximately 7 Mark 187. The exact frequency will be located and announced on this repeater closer to 9:30. Please join us if you have the privileges and the equipment. And I did not put a announcement list together, so let's go right into any check-ins from officers or other hams with announcements for the club. Please call now.
Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango.
Go ahead, Frank.
Good evening, Thomas. Pardon my voice. I lost it this weekend. Couldn't do the teaching or anything, and I think it's coming back, but still a little on the shaky side. A couple of announcements coming up for those of you who are active in the club. Please get a pencil out. First of all, this weekend, the 23rd of February at 1:30 at the Cuyahoga Falls Library, we'll be doing a VE session. If you know anybody who wants to upgrade from whatever their license is to the next level, definitely tell them to sign up there. Advanced registration is required, and we'll be doing testing starting at 1:30 at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. That's this Sunday, 2/23. Wednesday, February 26th, 4 p.m. until whenever we run out of energy, we're going to be doing a clubhouse and shack reorganization. This is the 4th Wednesday of the month. Typically when we used to have our second meeting of the month, we're going to be up there. We're going to try to get everything out of the shack that's not needed in there. It's kind of cluttered now. We're going to try to get some pin boards up, maybe a clock or something, things like that. So feel free to join us. I sure would appreciate I'll try to get a sign-up list here in the next day or two out, but would appreciate your help there. Next up is the ARRL International DX Phone Contest. That is at our local time, will be February 28th, March 1st, and 2nd. We're going to try to do it from the clubhouse again using the W8 BPV call. So if you participated in Winter Field Day and enjoyed it, here's another opportunity to get involved. We'll have a sign-up list coming up soon on our website. We'd love to see you out there. It'd be nice to man the operation for, again, 24 hours, but it's all a matter of what people would like to do. Also, keep in mind, we have a Hamfest coming up here. This is on, the event itself is Saturday, April 5th, but we need volunteers both that Saturday and Friday, April 4th. Again, we'll have a sign-up list on the website fairly quickly here, as soon as I get a chance to talk to Anthony. He's tied up with something else right now. And then finally, let me pause for time. finally, of course, Field Day. Summer Field Day is coming up June 28th, 29th. That's probably our biggest turnout. We will again get a sign-up list up there in the near future, but please mark your calendars now and keep that weekend open. We appreciate your help, and we'd like to top even what we did last year. Well, that's all I've got, Thomas, for the time being. So let me hand it back to you, and please sign me in or check me in. WADCT, back to net.
All right, Frank. So the clean-out day, what day is that again?
That'll be a Wednesday, the fourth Wednesday of the month, February 26th. We'll probably start around 4 p.m. or so, whenever people are available, and it'll go until we run out of energy or things to do. If we get a good turnout here, we can order pizza. We'll have water and pop and everything, and if you have not been out to the clubhouse yet, I encourage anybody out there to come on out and join us and just check it out and see what we've got there.
All right, thanks for that, Frank. I think I've got them all written down here. Are there anybody else with the general announcements for the club? Please call now. Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor.
This is WO3X.
Go ahead, WO3X.
Yeah, March has 5 Mondays, so the 5th Monday is March 31st. I think that we'll do the band exploration net on 17 meters on or about 18.127 megahertz, upper sideband. This is WO3X, back to the net.
All right, good heads up on that. Thank you for that announcement. Do we have any other announcements? Please call now.
Recheck WADCT.
All right, go ahead, Frank.
Just a couple of other quick opportunities here. If you would like to get more involved in our club and become one of the, movers and shakers, if you will. In addition to officers and trustees, we also have a lot of other opportunities to participate. We could use a club photographer, somebody who just shows up at various events, takes pictures, and makes them available for the newsletter and the club website. We're also thinking about possibly getting a club manager for our clubhouse involved there. We sure could use you there. And I had a third one, and it's already left my mind. If it comes back to me, I'll check in again, or I'll recheck again. But and a website manager. Right now we've got a simple website. It'd be great to have somebody constantly working on the website, keeping it up to date, putting pictures and events on there. We update it when we get a chance, but sometimes it slips a little bit. So if you're interested in helping the club, we sure could use you. If you have skills in any of those areas, by all means, reach out to one of the club members or myself, Frank, WADCT, at cpark.org. Okay, that's all I got, Thomas. Back to you. Doing a great job. WADCT.
All right, those are great announcements there. There's always a way for you to help. If you would like to help, just let us know. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. I think we probably have all the announcements possible, but let's move on to regular check-ins. We're looking for 5 check-ins. Give me call sign only, and let me acknowledge each one before I move on. Please call now.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Got you, Vince. Next, please.
Kilo 8 Victor Hotel Kilo. Kenmore in and out.
I got Victor Hotel Kilo in and out. Next, please.
E8 KVI in and out.
I got KVI in and out. Next, please.
KE8TQR.
Got you, Keith, and we're looking for one more.
K8PU.
I got you, Larry. All right, we'll go back up to Vince, AC8XO. You're up.
Good evening, Thomas, and everybody on the net. Not a whole heck of a lot going on here, except that it's freezing cold. Yeah, I did not bring it up as an announcement, but newsletter articles are always appreciated. Other than that, that's all I got. AC8XO, back to net.
Thank you, Vince. And, yeah, I'll add that on there as an announcement, but thanks for stopping by. Keith, you're up. KE8TQR.
Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. This is KE8TQR. Good evening, Thomas. Thanks for taking my check-in. Good evening to everyone else here on the net. Oh, yeah, it's cold outside. We all know it. I spent the morning running the snowblower up and down the driveway to get that cleared off, so didn't have any snow in the driveway when I was done. What little was left, the sun took care of for me, which there was a lot of sunshine today, I got to give it that, but it was still too cold to be outside. I'm one of the few people that I know of, and there's a couple of the nets I've been on tonight, that actually went down to the mailbox to see about mail and then realized there was no mail today. So it was a nice little walk to the mailbox and back. Anyway, I spent the rest of the afternoon here in the shack. I've got the shelf now over the radios. I built the shelf, so it's over the radios. It's bolted down. The SWR meters and the speakers are up on the shelf, so they're not sitting on the radios anymore. And I picked up some 12-volt LED light strips, 2 of them in fact, and they either have a red light or a white light, which is dimmable, and they are on the other side of the shelf, and they're on right at the moment. And all I had to do was add a couple extra feet of zip cord and some power poles, and they were plugged into my rig runners, and it looks really good. So anyway, that's about all. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday night. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Try to stay warm if you can. Be out there on them roads. Be safe because there's ice. We know that. And just watch yourself when you're driving. And that's about all I got. So I'll send this back to you, Thomas. Thanks for running the net tonight. Fine job, as always. And this is KE8TQR saying 73, and God bless.
Well, Keith, sounds like you're making some real progress there in the shack. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to hear you. Larry, K8PU, you're up.
Thomas, everybody on the net. Nothing exciting on Oakwood Drive tonight, but along with everybody else, got a few cold days coming up here, and everybody keep warm and stay safe. And by George, we're getting over halfway through February. Maybe we can kiss some of this goodbye pretty soon. And give you a attaboy for doing the net, and Vince for doing the newsletter. He does a bang-up job. So that's about it. Try to catch you on 40 meters if my antenna's happy. So back to you, Thomas, W8VPV, K8PU.
Sounds good, Larry. And, yeah, I don't know if my antenna is going to play nice or not. I know it had a bunch of snow and ice on it over the weekend, so we'll have to see if that's going to be cooperative. That brings us to the end of our list so far. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. We're looking for additional check-ins. Please call now.
WTK. Victor Delta, KF8, AVD, Tony, Merriman Valley, in and out.
All right, I got Bill, and I got Tony in and out. Next, please.
November 8, Bravo, Alpha, Yankee, Ralph Instow, in and out.
I got you, Ralph. Next, please.
HMS.
you, and one more.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Radio, Charlie, November.
I got RCN, but there was somebody else underneath of you. If that other station could please re-identify. Not hearing anything. We'll go back up to Bill. KA8 WTK, you're up.
WAVP, KA8 WTK, Bill and Talmadge. Like everybody else, trying to stay warm. We've been keeping the wood stove going. Looks like I'm going to burn about twice as much wood as I did last year. And last year was so mild. Waiting for the snow and ice to get off the antennas out there so I can do a little more work and perhaps run some new coax cables. Everybody's waiting for spring, and I'm with them. I've got a lot I need to do out there and things I want to get done. So we'll get done with this weather, and let's move on. Back to the net. WAVPV, K8 WTK.
Glad you're staying warm there, Bill. And yeah, I think we got extremely lucky the past couple of years. But this is more of the winters that I remember. All right, we're down to K8 HMS. You're up.
Okay, here I am. Yeah, K8 HMS in the net. Yeah, good evening, everybody. And yeah, I'm with all of you. I'm tired of the cold weather. Lived here my whole life, and like you were saying, we've been lucky the last couple winters, but yeah, this is just too much. And I'm wondering with Bill there, with his outside railroad, maybe he'd want to make a comment, and I got to go see that someday. I wonder if he's got a little snowplow there for his track. I've seen some of those on YouTube and stuff. Get the snow off the track. Anyway, that's about it. Back to net, KHMS.
Thanks for stopping by. Lastly, we're down to WA8 RCN.
W8 VPV and the net W8 RCN. Your neighbor down the street here. Yeah, I agree with everybody. It's cold. I plowed my drive and my neighbor's drive with the quad runner and a plow on it today, and man, it's like riding a snowmobile, you know. Except I didn't have a snowmobile suit. I had stuff to wear, but I'll tell you, it was cold this afternoon. So even though the sun was out, boy, it was a fooler. And then this weekend, I couldn't do much of anything, so we just stayed in the house and played in the ARRL DXCW contest and put in a pretty big effort on that all weekend. You know, little sleep, little food, and a lot of operating, and finally broke 1,000. I ended up single class category, 1,118 QSOs and 300 band countries. And 10 meters was good. Man, there were CW signals all the way up to like almost 150, I think, and worked like 75 countries on 10 meters alone. So, I mean, the band was hopping great. So, anyway, hopefully for the sideband contest, it'll be as good. So, that's what we're up to. Got the big antennas up and playing contesting now in the winter months. W8 VPV, W8 RCN.
All right, thanks for stopping by. Glad you're doing so well on the contacts there. That brings us to the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. We're looking for any more check-ins. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Golf Delta, Greg, Cuyahoga Falls, in and out.
WGD, got you in and out. Thanks for stopping by. Anybody else?
KQLA, Leo and Stowe, in and out.
I got ULA in and out. Next, please.
W8EZT with an announcement.
All right, go ahead, Frank. W8EZT.
All right, my apologies for being totally disorganized here. I forgot probably one of the bigger announcements. The club on the education committee, for the first time, are going to try to offer an extra class coming up here starting March 23rd. If you're a general and you've been talking about wanting to get that extra class license, this is the opportunity. It'll be a 7-classroom situation starting 3:23. We'll go to 3:30, 4:06, 4:13. We'll take a break for Easter. Then resume on 4:27, May 4th, and then finally May 11th. Wouldn't it be great to go down to the Dayton with your new extra class CFCE? So if you're interested, we're going to get a bunch of sign-up lists coming up here on the club website in the next 2 days or so. I was just on the phone with Anthony organizing this. So if you're interested in getting your extra class license, this will be an opportunity. We'll be using Stu's training materials. He's done a great job on technician in general, and this will be our first attempt to do it, so it'll be an interesting experience, but mark your calendars. If you want your extra, the first class will be 3:23, and look for a sign-up link on our webpage in the next day or two. That's all I got, Thomas. We'll hand it back to you. W8EZT.
All right, Frank, thanks for that. I may have to jump in on that class. I tried to take the one from the Electronics Museum, but life got in the way, and I never got back to it. All right, this is Whiskey 8 to Victor Papa Victor. We're looking to see if we have any more check-ins. Please call now.
Yeah, this is Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Charlie, Kurt in Cuyahoga Falls, in and out.
All right, got you in and out. Next, please.
Check.
I just got the last syllable. If you could re-identify, give yourself a second after you hit PTT, and we'll get you here on the list.
KHMS recheck.
Gotcha. Go ahead with a recheck. K8HMS.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Frank for about a minute after the net if he's available.
All right, Frank, did you copy?
I did. I'm in the process of about ready to haul the trash and recycles out, but I'll be back to my radio in about 5 minutes. So, yes, I'll be here right after the net.
All right. You okay, Steve?
No problem. Thanks, Frank.
All right. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Do we have any other check-ins? Please call now. Not hearing any. Let's go through this long list of announcements before we go for the last call for check-ins. First is, if you have a newsletter article, go ahead and get it in. Vince would very much appreciate it. Next, this weekend, 2/23, we have a VE session at 1:30 at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. Then 2/26 is Clubhouse Clean Out starting at 4 p.m. Join us if you're available to expend some energy getting it all squared away. And then we are operating from the clubhouse the ARRL single sideband international DX competition. That is the 28th through March 2nd. And if you would like to be part of the team that operates, we'd like to get 24 hours continuous operation. Just let us know. That'll be on the website, the sign up for that. Another one to keep in our mind is Field Day. That is June 28th and 29th. There will be set up and preparation plans for that. Our Ham Fest is 4 or 5, so we're going to need volunteers for that and some help planning as well. And lastly, on March 23rd, we are offering an extra class. It's a 7-week course, and that sign-up will be on the website shortly. So I think that's all the ones that I wrote down. And on the 5th week of March, the 5th Monday, we will be operating on 17 meters. So keep that in mind.
Repeater, timeout. Time. Repeater, out.
You just mentioned the 17 meters. Keep it in mind.
Is that the only thing that got cut off?
Well, that's the last thing that was heard.
All right. I think that was the end of my announcements there. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Do we have any last check-ins? Please call now.
Where is tonight's band playing thing?
We'll be on 40 meters. Right now it looks like 7188 is open. So we're hoping to stick around there, but I'll announce the final on the repeater closer to 9:30.
You, KHMS.
All right, we'll call this the last call for check-ins. Please call now. Hearing none, we'll prepare to close this net. I'd like to thank everybody that took the time to join us here. Without your participation, we wouldn't have a net. This has been KE8OWX. It's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I'll close the net with 15 check-ins and return the repeater to normal and customary amateur use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 8:58 p.m. local time, 73.
KHMS W8EZT.
Hey, hi Frank, W8EZT KHMS. Yeah, boy, I got to take some trash out too, and it's mighty cold out there. I'm showing 3 degrees. Wow. Hey, anyway, let me break for time here. I know I had talked to you a little bit about crazy stuff happening with, my using my 60-foot long wire for 11680, and I thought of you right away. I had to got to pass along this to Frank. I'm not sure what it was, maybe 80 this weekend with the ARRLDX contest, but one of them, I keyed it up, and I hear this noise, and believe it or not, it started our air fryer in the kitchen.
You mean it actually turned the air fryer on?
I couldn't believe it. My wife said, "Hey, what's that noise out there?" And I looked, and here the air fryer was just humming along. And at times, too, there's a light in the living room we have, just a little on-off light, and it'll blink on and off with my Morse code. So it's, other than the TV, it's crazy stuff happening.
Well, my guess is your coax is carrying some RF back into the house and maybe getting into everything else. Have you had a chance to get some balance and put them on there yet?
Oh, no, I haven't tried anything, and no, you know what, and I don't have any anyway, but yeah, one of these days you can hit me up with some stuff to get or how to do it or whatever, but, and it's nothing earth-shattering. I just, try to, if I know I'm interfering with stuff, I try to do it when the wife's in bed or whatever, but, boy, the air fryer just cracked me up.
Well, up till now it's been an annoyance, but if you're turning an air fryer on, good grief, you could have food in there, you could end up with a fire. That's a major, that's an issue. That needs to be resolved. After I talked to you about balance, I got on Amazon and ordered a dozen or 10 of them. They're up at the club right now, at the clubhouse, because we're getting RF coming in on that coax cable. And I can loan you a couple of those. They're club property, but I can loan you a couple, and you just snap on the coax as soon as it gets into the house, and hopefully that'll help with some of this. But yeah, be very careful if you're turning on equipment with your RF. Yeah, that needs to be addressed. That could be very scary. I had a friend who had lost their house because their dogs jumped up, and the controls for their oven were on the front, and the dog turned the stove on, and they had a box of pizza left sitting on the heating elements, and that caught fire, and things went downhill from there.
Oh boy, yeah, I'll be careful, and I'm not doing too much of that now, and I never thought about it. I just thought about it here, but I would hope it's not messing up either of my neighbors. I don't know. They're, fairly, not real close, but I would hope it's only messing up stuff here. But yeah, one day I'll get with you and you can kind of explain stuff to me about using those and everything. And like I say, when you have a chance, I haven't been doing that much operating that I need to, I guess, bother with it right now. So, but I just wanted to pass that along. W8EZT KHMS.
Okay, well, definitely be careful there. And hey, if you're the fourth Wednesday of the month is open for you, the 20. starting about 4 p.m. We're going to be at the clubhouse, and one of the things I am going to do is put some balance on the coax coming in and measure and do a before and after measurement to see if that changes anything, and I can give you a couple there, and you can see how to put them on. So if you have time to get up there and the weather's cooperating, we'd love to see you there.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah, that will, advance a little bit of my, what little knowledge I have. So, okay, yeah, I'll try to do that, Frank. That sounds good. So, all righty. Don't want to hold you up. I just wanted to pass that along to you. So, I will be seeing you down the log here somewhere. And yeah, speaking about logs, Anthony got me set up with my FT8 and Logbook of the World, and he wants me to start entering my contacts, so we can upload them to Logbook. And I don't know. That's a lot of typing that I don't know if I can do. So, but anyway, at least he got me set up for it. So okay. Thank you. Try to stay warm tonight. W8EZT Kate HMS.
Yeah, you said you didn't want to hold me up. The only thing you're holding me up is to go out there in that 3-degree temperature and haul my trash and recycles out to the curb. But, yeah, it's got to be done. I didn't do it. I gave up last week because it was raining, and now I got 2 weeks of trash out there, so it's got to go. All right, Steve, good talking to you. Take care, stay warm, and we'll catch you down the page. And, yeah, maybe next time you're doing any operating, put some fries or something in your air fryer. You might get a nice snack out of it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, never thought of that. Yeah, remote control for the air fryer. Yeah, I'll think about that. Hi. Oh, hey, and real quick, do you still have, because I drive by your house all the time, do you still have your little electric car?
No, I sold that. The hybrid about 2-3 months ago. One of the other guys that I have lunch with regularly wanted one for his friend, and I didn't have time to work on it. I don't have a place to store it indoors, and it was just sitting there. You know how it is when a car sits, they tend to get bad on you, so I sold it. And I figure one of these days I'll find a good deal on one and buy another one.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, because I saw you there with I saw a normal car in your driveway, so, okay. Hey, with this snowy weather here, you could get one of those GMC Hummer hybrids. I think they're only $110,000.
Oh, sure. Let me check my changed container in my car, and maybe I can scrape together the change to get a nice down payment on it. Hi.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Always good talking to you, and always appreciate any advice you have. W8EZT, Kate HMS, clear.
Real good, Steve. W8EZT, clear and monitoring. Actually, I'm going to be taking the trash out. I'm clear.
Kate HMS, W8RCN.
W88RCN, Kate HMS.
How you doing, man? Yeah, you had me laughing with your story with the air fryer there, I'll tell you. I've been down that road. I'll tell you, I got one for you.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. I mean, I know what it is with the goofball stuff I do here for, what room I have. But anyway, what you got?
That's when I was young, full of piss and vinegar. I was probably in my late 20s or something. I was working for Dentron, and, I hot-rodded this MLA 2100, built it myself and did some things to it and brought that home. And that was back in the time when I was running one of my radios. I had a bunch of radios. One of them was a Drake B line, and it, it had 6 JB6s in there, and that thing would it had sweep tubes that put out 150 watts. and I'd drive that MLA 2500 and take the swamping resistor out of it, and on 20 meters I could pin a 2500 watt bird slug, So I had an inverted V up on the pole in the backyard, and for 80 meters. Break here for time, and I think it was raining or something. Anyway, it was touching the tree back there, and I just let it go, and it was touching the trunk of the tree and some of the limbs and stuff and everything. And man, I was pounding away in a contest or something. The wife come running down. She goes, "Hey, you got the tree on fire in the backyard."
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's unreal! Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully you got the thing put out.
I got it put out, but it was kind of black, up the trunk of the tree and the limbs and some of the limbs and stuff and everything. I had to cut it all out. I survived, but it didn't look too good for a long time.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I guess I would have never thought that, but I guess it's unreal what RF is going to do. Wow, yeah, especially with that kind of power. But yeah, that's oh my gosh, that's funny.
That's my story. I kind of been there before, and at the other house too. I had to go into I had a bathroom and another room, or two bathrooms or something. I had to take the 110 receptacles out and put torides on them, because every time I would get in a contest, and I would swing I had a big 4-element quad and a 30-foot boom up there, and swing over to the house to JA over to Japan, it would go over that bathroom. It would blow the circuit breakers in the bathroom all the time,
Gosh, I just didn't think it would do something like that. Wow, that's just amazing. Yeah, it didn't mess up anything else, just the circuit breakers.
That's kind of weird. I never had any TVI or anything else, Neighbors never complained or anything, but it would trip them breakers. And 2 rooms in a house. I know one was a bathroom, and the smoke detector would go off too. I'd point that thing on Japan, and the smoke detector upstairs would take off and just start squealing, and I could turn it 10 degrees either way, right or left, and it would stop, But if I hit that right spot going over to JA northwest, man, the smoke detector would start screaming.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, like you say, it's crazy what RF will do. And yeah, and I don't know what it is. Sometimes when it's on, I'm on 440 here, and other times, I don't know, maybe when I'm using my long wire. But yeah, my smoke detectors will go off, and it drives the dog nuts. But like I say, I just hope I'm not hurting the neighbors. I know way back in the day when I lived in the Falls, I had a little 500 watt rig, there, and that was back before cable and all that. I'm talking probably 60s. But my one neighbor used to call me. She'd complain. She said, "Hey, you're getting into my electronic organ."
Yeah. Back in the day, I think it was 15 meters in channel 5. That was the worst, You always have, everybody's on cable and everything, and it's like, it's cool. It's like you don't have any issues or problems anymore, like you used to back in the day when everybody had, a lot of people too had like rabbit ears and everything else, and that didn't help the cause either, If you didn't have an outside antenna with, good feed line coming in, they were watching the TV with rabbit ears and tinfoil on it or something. That just added to the problem,
Yeah, that's for sure. And fortunately, and I was, I don't know, I was just in my teens probably, but anyway, I had nice neighbors, and they didn't say too much about it, and I didn't get into it too much, I guess. So, but yeah, Yeah, it's just unreal. And hey, congrats on this weekend. I got on the DX contest a little bit. I didn't do much. I worked a few stations, but I was wrapped up doing other stuff. But I was kind of happy. It's been years and years, but sitting down here in the hole, I actually got into New Zealand and Japan, so I felt pretty good about that. But didn't make many contacts, but I'm always impressed with how much you do.
Thanks, Steve. And yeah, you do well down there for being in the hole with the wire, though. You work a lot, you work in ZLs and stuff and everything. That's pretty good, That's pretty good. But I just got the big antennas and putting them to use here. I figured, and sad. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy thing. I check in this net every Monday night, and then most of the time I got how many radios? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here or something. And how many amplifiers and all those. And everything just sits idle during the week. I don't even mess with it or hardly ever listen to it. And contest comes out getting, especially I'm a CW guy, as you well know. I get in there and do the CW contests a lot, and man, just like thousands of people do the same thing, I guess. You never hear anybody on the bands half the time, and then the contest comes and you can't even find a spot. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Not like it was back in the day, 50 years ago. There's a lot more activity than there is now, and contest is the big thing. So everybody does, And then I always look up somebody's got. I tell you one to look up. 9A1, 9 Alpha 1 Alpha, 9A1A. Look him up on QRZ on his page, and it's a big club station, Croatia. Croatia's real big, and these guys, my gosh, the stuff they got, unbelievable. They got pictures in there where the guys are carrying a 6-element 20-meter Yagi, and they got to take 7 guys to pick it up. I think the boom's like 60-some foot long. I'm just going, there's guys out, they got more money than brains, They got 5 or 6 towers, and, they're all like 100, 150 foot tall, and they got all these radios that cost $5,000 a piece, and they got 5 or 6 of those, and I'm just going, what has happened here,
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I've worked them, yeah. But yeah, it's just unbelievable. And, that's one thing too, I even hear the guys in the club talking and stuff, hey, get in the contest, you can work all states, maybe, and this and that, and, back when I started, I'm talking 60 years ago, and man, I worked my butt off for years to get worked all states, and I don't know how long I went to get DXCC, and hearing you say how many countries you got this weekend and stuff. It's just unbelievable anymore that with the way stuff is, I can grab up all these awards.
I timed it out there. Last thing I got was grab up all these awards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just saying, it's amazing, with working a contest on a weekend or something, you can get worked all states or DXCC, and, back when I started, of course, I didn't have, much for antennas or anything, and, man, it took me years to get any of that.
I agree. If I would have operated only 10 meters, I would have got DXCC this weekend, because I got 75 countries on 10 meters, right? I could have got another 25 probably. But, well, maybe not. I don't know if they were out there or not. I think you start hunting, pecking by Sunday afternoon, and, I'm going work them. I'm putting guys in the log and taking them out more than I'm working anybody, But anyway, maybe. But, yeah, you're right, though. I had, I paper route and cutting grass and everything else for 50 cents and trying to scrape money together. And, I had a transmitter and receiver that were true boat anchors. And, wire, and got me on the air though. You know what I mean? And I would spend hours and days and weeks and months. And back then you got your novice and you had to get another class license, because after a year, bingo, that was it. It was gone. So so you're trying to study for the next license and trying to work all this stuff. And like you said, it was years before you can get all that stuff. And now it's like, hey, you can get out for a weekend and pretty much do it.
That's for sure. It's that. That's a good thing. A good thing for the new guys and stuff if they wanna do it. But I feel good that when I did it. I mean, it took work. I didn't just jump on for a weekend and all of a sudden, I have worked all states or something, and or some of the other stuff I got. But to me, it's a good thing. I guess if I would have done all that, it's like, what am I going to do now? But it kept me going and kept my interest going.
8HMS W8RCN, same here. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid, when I started, I've been licensed, you've been 60, I've been 50 years now, or 59 years. Yeah, so, anyway, I can remember, I would be on that radio all the time, as much as I could, it was just so neat. It was like Dick Tracy and the wristband radio, and talking to all these different states and all these different countries, and man, it was just unbelievable. I even, I can share this story too with you. I did a lot of SWLing even before that, about 1963 or 64, and I would listen to radio in Moscow, and you know how the politics was back then between the United States and Russia. I would send the radio in Moscow to get their QSL card and stuff and all that, and I got a couple things from them, and every time it came to the house, it was opened by the government and gone through before I got the mail, back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Because, I got a few, when I actually worked Russia and stuff. They checked all of that out. Yeah, that's for sure. So, back in the Cold War days and everything, that was something else.
And that, and then back in the Cold War days too, we had you probably remember this too. We had a banned country list that we were not allowed to work, and it was like Vietnam, Cambodia, a couple other countries over there.
Port link off.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, that's for sure. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, you couldn't get into them, and I'm kind of surprised now. In fact, it was kind of weird. I worked at a Russian station on 10 meters this weekend, and
I was telling the wife too, I was surprised with that too, because I worked probably about a dozen Ukrainian stations, but I guess that war is in certain parts of the country, and the other part might be okay, and the guys are on the radio or something. I was surprised I worked that many of them, and the Russian guys, they're always on, and always ready to work. But, no, you're right. It's and even when you talk to them, it's not even during the contest. It's never any politics or anything like that. Whatever. It has its what I want to say, ups and downs, or it has its ins and outs of politics.
For sure. Yeah, and I'm surprised you worked into Ukraine. I might have too here a while back, which is it's kind of crazy. So I'm trying to find. While we're talking here, there's
station down in Florida that I think it worked in, but I'm not sure. And when you were talking about, you know, those guys with all the amplifiers and all that stuff, this guy's just nuts. He's got like, I don't know, 11 or 12 huge towers, and he races cars and all this. If I find it here, I'll give you an email, because, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just amazing what some of these guys have.
Tell me about it, Steve. Tell me about it. I mean, they've got to have, you know, like anywhere from $250,000 to maybe $300,000-$400,000 in antennas. You know what I mean? You get on some of these pages and you see these guys with all these towers, and they got flatbed trucks out there with cable on spools that are like, you know, 8 foot, and they're using backhoes to dig the trenches to run it from, you know, the towers to the house.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. You know, that's like, oh, God, I can't think of his call now, but the guy in Pennsylvania, you know, that's the CEO of DX Engineering or something. I mean, good God, he's you know, he's got a kilowatt amplifier sitting there for each band.
You know, I tell you, you know, you see my antenna in the backyard, right? I got $12,000 in there. That's nothing, you know. Can you imagine these guys that got 5 or 6 towers, what they got in them?
That's for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's one thing. Wherever I've lived and everything, I've never been able to have much of an antenna. I've always used dipoles. That's basically all I've ever had, and you know, which, you know, always worked out well for me, but it, you know, makes me work a little harder, which I appreciate, but yeah, never been able to have a beam, no towers, no nothing, but you know, I always feel good that what I've done with dipoles.
Too, yeah, I lived here for 5 years in this house. You had that vertical up, you know, and I had a vertical view for 80, but it was only 25 feet. Okay.
Well, we're going to get you another call now. What we're going to do is we're going to have another member bring in Whiskey Zero Kilo Tango. Any copy on 84?
And then, you know, I actually had that 40-meter, 33-foot vertical.
Is this Portal in the air? Negative. It's the net going. Oh, great. Another net. Goodbye. Goodbye. Whiskey Zero Kilo Tango, line 84. Do you have him?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I was going to say, too. I worked two guys or three guys in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm here. I got him. Go ahead.
Anyway. All right, buddy. I'm going to let you go. And maybe get on your phone. See what's going on there. And then go upstairs and maybe watch some TV for a while. Anyway, well, this is the most I've ever talked on this 2-meter radio. And doing radio, man, that heat sink is... You know, you could smell something burning like electronics. Well, it's heating up, and it's never had that much heat going to it. It's brand new, and I started smelling something. I thought something's on fire down here. It's heating up, I guess. So I never get on this thing and talk. Hey, go ahead and wrap it up. Catch you later. KHMS, W8RCN.
W8RCN, W8EZT.
Hey, Frank.
Serious AC hum on your radio, just kind of climbed up and out of the noise.
Okay, maybe something's going on here because it's getting so doggone hot. This heat sink is like, you can't put your hand on it.
Okay, just wanted to let you know that. W8EZT.
You know what, might be power supply too. You got a small supply in this thing. Okay, thanks.
Look up KE5EE. on QRZ.com. This guy is just totally nuts. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, just go down through all his stuff there. KE5EE.
Oh yeah, okay, I just pulled it up. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. This guy is nuts. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Okay, listen, I'm going to run. This power supply is heating up. It's too small for this radio, I think. That's part of the problem.
Thanks. Good talking to you. W8RCN. Yeah, Kate HMS clear.
HMS W8RCN.
To kick off the announcements, 2/23 this weekend is a VE session at 1:30 at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. You do need to pre-register for that just so we know how many tests to bring, but anybody is welcome. 2/26 is a clubhouse clean-out afternoon. That starts at 4 p.m. 2/28 to 3/2 is the ARRL sideband International DX, and we're going to be participating out of the clubhouse. Sign-ups are on the website or will be in the next couple of days, and we'd like your help to have a 24-hour continuous operation there. If you'd like to volunteer, just let us know. We also have March 23rd. We're starting an extra class. That is a 7-week class. Hopefully that will get everybody ready for taking the extra test. We have March 31st is the 5th Monday of March. So that will be on 17 meters for the 930 HF plus 6 meter band exploration. That's we also have the Hamfest coming up on 4/5, and then Field Day. We'll be starting to prepare for Field Day and keep that on your calendar for June 28th and 29th. All right, this is Whiskey 8, Victor, Papa Victor. Do we have anybody else that has an announcement for the club that wasn't picked up in that previous announcement? Please call now.
W8EZT, I'm sorry, I just walked back in. Did you get the Clubhouse Shack reorg on February 26th and the DX phone contest on February 28th, first and second, both at the Clubhouse?
Yep, we did cover both of those, Frank.
Awesome. That's all I've got. Please check me in. I'm going to go haul the rest of the stuff out next.
Be careful. It's pretty cold out there. All right, this is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. Looking for additional check-ins. Please call now.
K8HMS.
K8HMS. I got you. Next, please. WO3X. I got WO3X. Next, please.
KA8WTK.
That K8WTK, got you. Do we have anybody else out there? We'll go with what we got. K8HMS, you're up.
Oh, okay, yeah, WAVPV in the net, K8HMS. Yeah, good evening again. Thanks for running both nets. And I think I might have heard somebody in there just before I got on, but yeah, not much going on. I'm looking here now. It's 8 degrees, feels like 1. So, as everybody was saying on the 2-meter net, I think we're all tired of it, but just got to endure it, I guess, till it goes away. And so I guess, yeah, that's about it from down here. I was thinking there was something else I wanted to say on this net, but now I don't remember. So if I think about it, I'll check back in. So back to you, K8HMS.
All right, Steve. Thanks for stopping by. Good to hear you. WO3X, you're up.
I
This is WO3X. That was Larry, K8PU, checking in. I wonder if Steve is turning the fryer on this band.
All right, I got K8PU on the list there, John, and it's pretty noisy tonight, but I think we're going to try and muscle through it. You have anything else?
Well, Steve was mentioning that his fryer comes on one of the bands there, Steve K8HMS, comes on when he transmits. So I wonder if it comes on this band here. So that's all I have. With that, back to the net. Yeah, you covered everything with those announcements here. This is WO3X, back to the net.
QRZ, may I ask what net this is and when it will be over?
We'll be over pretty soon, probably the next 10-15 minutes.
I'm sorry, which net?
This is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Association HF plus 6 meter band exploration net.
All right, just wanted to let you know that we have a net that meets on this frequency. We've been doing it every night for 14 years now. We start at 10 o'clock. I hope your net will be over by then. Thank you so much for NC4L.
All right, thanks for stopping by. We should be clear by then. K8WTK, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, recheck. PV, KA8WTK. And trying out the Delta loop tonight on receive here. And it's about an even match for the gap vertical close in. But it seems to win when you're listening to something a couple states away by about at least 10 dB. So that's the way it is tonight. Probably when the ice melts, it'll be different. Back to net. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Thanks for stopping by, Bill. Go ahead, K8HMS with your recheck.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell John, actually, no, it's not bothering my air fryer at night, but my multi-band V antenna usually doesn't always work real well, up at the high end of 40 meters. I have a tune for CW, but I'm using that now, John, so it's not bothering anything, and it's just when I'm on 1480, 160 with my 106 or with my 60-foot long wire, so yep, we're not frying up anything. Hi. Yep, thanks for letting me back in. WAVPV KHMS.
All right, thanks for the recheck. Larry, K8PU, you're up.
Yeah, evening, Thomas. Everybody on the net. Yeah, very noisy here. Difficult copy, but get in there and give you one for the numbers and help out. And look forward to catching everybody next week, same time and different station. Okay, thanks, Thomas. Back to you. W8VPV, KPU.
Thanks for stopping by, Larry. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. We're looking for any more check-ins. Please call now.
KE8TQR.
Go ahead, Keith. KE8TQR.
W8VPV, KE8TQR. Good evening, Thomas, and everyone else here on the 40-meter net. I won't take too long because I know we got another net that wants to start right behind us. So had a great evening tonight. Good to hear everybody over on 2-meter and here. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Thomas. KE8TQR 873, and God bless.
Thanks for stopping by, Keith. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. Do we have any other check-ins? Please call now. I'm not here anymore. John, are you hearing anybody out there?
No, I don't hear anybody. This is WO3X.
All right, thanks for checking my ears here. Pretty short, but that's pretty cold and probably a lot of iced up antennas here, so we'll skip the announcements because everybody's heard them a couple times now. So we'll do last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor, please call now.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Radio, Charlie November.
Hey neighbor, go ahead. WARCN.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I had to go up to the band and readjust this here. I went to check in and had the monitor on or something. The thing was squealing. Anyway, if you heard that, that was me. Anyway, yeah, WAVPV in the group, W8RCN. Just check in and give you one more beam for the pot here, Thomas, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for checking in. You are a booming. ALC was doing a lot to compensate for that one. All right, Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor, looking for last call for check-in. Please call now. All right, I think that's about all we'll get with this icy weather. So, I'd like to thank everybody that did check in, because we wouldn't have a net if you didn't. This has been KE8OWX. It's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, we'll close the net with 7 check-ins and return the frequency to normal and customary amateur use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:43 p.m. local time, 73.
This is November Charlie for London, calling QRZ. Is this frequency in use? Nothing being heard. We will wait for the internet to start at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on 71 KT.
KB4HAM, how you doing, Mal?
Hey, Howie, how are you?
Life is good, man. You're coming in really good here, man.
Well, you're just saying that to make you feel good.
No, I'm not trying to make it feel good. I'm just saying you're coming in good right here.
And you're succeeding. Young man, did they buy the house?
Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm so excited. Don't make me cry. It's a nice house. It's a better house, hell of a lot better house than I'm living in. And the boy is, I think he got it. I mean, I think they're dialed in, man. It's insane. I had a lot of fun talking to him today. It's just such an exciting thing to be a young man. And he's got his little girl there, you know, you gotta get married, man. That's what I told him. You gotta get married. And they will. It's just so exciting to see because Mal, you probably remember when you moved into your first place, your first house, how exciting was that?
That was very exciting. I mean, my place, and I owned the blades of grass and the dirt, you know, and I thought that was great. I owned the house, and that's so wonderful about that. Because I lived in a lot of apartments before that. And then from that house, we came to this one, and that was in 1973, I think it was, when we bought this house. So we're here a long time. Hey, how do you like the
Aren't those some great memories? I mean, they are, you know, and man, every time I got a house, you know, and I brought my bride in, and just the best. My son yesterday, he was having buyer's remorse. He was all nervous and stuff. And today, well, I tried to talk him out of that buyer's remorse. Yeah, you know, hey, you're gonna feel a little pain here and there. But today, he was so excited, and I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that, yeah, they're ready to get in there, and I know the girl's ready to go, man.
Yeah, I took a double look at you for a little bit. But, well, when I got in here, I remember we were telling people who were buying these houses, I have these large monthly payments. Don't worry about it. You're going to be good. You're young. You're starting out. You're going to make money. It's going to be no problem. You know, we got to this house, and I think my mortgage payment back then was like $2,000 a month. That was back in 45, 50 years ago. So that was a lot of money. But, you know, in time, I took okay. We bought the mortgage back. In other words, we paid it off. And just got just paying the taxes on it. And it was the best thing I ever did because it made a lot of money for us. I mean, you know, it's gone up 4 or 5 times the money when I bought it, maybe more. Anyhow, that's the story from this neck of the woods. So you're saying, you mentioned buyer's remorse. Does that mean he purchased it?
Oh, yeah, man, it's closing. And he just is nervous. And I said, just like you said, I said, his name is Hayden. His name is Hayden. And I told him, dude, don't worry about it, man. You're a young man. You're just starting out. He's 25. She's 21. I said, don't worry about it. You got it. You got it made. You'll make it work. And I don't want to tell him too much. I don't want to make him realize, hey, listen, man, I got his back. If that thing really starts falling apart for some bad reason, I don't think it will.